Semiconductor devices. Okay, semiconductor devices in first year, second semester. We are going to discuss about in this session is common collector configuration. In previous session, we have totally learned about the common base configuration and common emitter configuration and their characteristics. Now in this section, we are going to discuss about the common collector configuration. Okay, so in this common collector configuration, it is also called as emitter follower. So it is also called as emitter follower. It is called common emitter configuration since both the signal source and the load share the collector terminal as a common connection point. So why we are calling common emitter configuration means, so in both the signal source and the load share the collector terminal as a common connection point. So that's why it is also called as a emitter follower. Common collector configuration is also called as common emitter follower. So the output voltage is obtained at emitter terminal. Here the output is taken across the emitter terminal. So the input characteristics of common collector configuration is similar with common emitter configuration. Okay, so that means in common collector configuration is also called as emitter follower. So that's why, so the input characteristics of common collector configuration is similar with common emitter configuration. So what we are getting the characteristics in common emitter configuration, the same will be reflected in common collector configuration also. So in this common collector circuit configuration is provided with a load resistor connected from emitter to ground instead of connected across the collector. So the load resistor, this load resistor will be connected from emitter to ground. So it is used primarily for impedance matching purpose since it has high input impedance and low output impedance. Okay, so this common collector configuration will be used as impedance matching purpose. Here we are common collector configuration is used in case of impedance matching purpose. Why we are using impedance matching purpose means, so which is having the high input impedance and low output impedance. This is the common collector configuration. So common collector configuration is also called as emitter follower circuit. So why we are calling emitter follower circuit means, so here the source signal and load will be connected or shared by the common collector point. Again the output voltage is obtained across the emitter terminal instead of collector. At the same time we are connecting load resistor from the emitter to the ground, not for the collector to the ground. So next where we are using this common collector configuration means, so this one is primarily used for the impedance matching purpose. So why we are go for the impedance matching purpose means, so it has high input impedance and low output impedance. Now look at the circuit diagram in case of common collector configuration. Here we look at the picture in two types of transistor, that is PNP transistor and NPN transistor. Okay, here the common terminal here is equal to common emitter. So the emitter will be going to be connected to or nearly to the ground potential, or so these common collector terminal, this collector terminal is both connected for the input and output circuit. Okay, so here, so again the same thing, input junction is going to be in forward biased, output circuit is connected in reverse bias. So that means here the base is n-type material or n-type semiconductor material. N-type semiconductor material, that means which having the negative electrons, these electrons having the negative charge. So that's why to make a forward bias in the input side, so the base terminal will be connected to the negative terminal of the battery. Again positive terminal of the battery is connected to the collector. Okay, because to make a forward bias at the input side, so the base having the n-type region. So due to the n-type region, the majority carriers here is equal to the electrons. These electrons having the negative charge. So that's why these negative charge electrons of the base will be connected to the negative terminal of the battery, and positive terminal of the battery is connected to the collector. At the same time, at the output circuit also you have to make reverse bias. That means the connection is in the form of reverse bias. Okay, so now here the p-type material, that is emitter, is connected to the negative positive terminal of the battery, and negative will be connected to the collector terminal. Here just replace this PNP structure as transistor symbol, then we can get the circuit. Again the same currents, that is base current, emitter current and collector current. Here the current is from emitter to the base, base to the collector. So in case of NPN transistor, the current is from out from the collector to the emitter, out from the emitter to the collector, and so into the base. These are the current directions. That means in case of NPN transistor, the emitter current is out from the transistor, that means out of direction. So that's why I shows the outward direction to the collector, which forms a closed path. Again the base current will be into the transistor. These are the circuit configurations, that is how to make a connections in common base configuration along with their structure and their symbols. Next, go for the output characteristics. So in common base configuration, the input and output characteristics is same as the common emitter configuration. So look at here. So for the common collector configuration, the output characteristics are a plot of IE versus VCE. So common collector configuration output characteristics are drawn between, so output current is equal to IE and output voltage equal to VCE. Now draw the plot between IE versus VCE when we are placing the input current is constant. Here the input current is equal to IB. This is the plot of IE versus VCE for a range of values of IB. That means so we have to fix the values of IB for different values, IB equal to 0, 10, 20 and so on. Next, when we are changing the VCE, so according to that the IE current will be changed. So these characteristics resembles the characteristics of the common emitter configuration. Here again in this output characteristics we have the three regions, that is saturation region, active region and cutoff region. So in saturation region means, so both input junction and output junction both will be in forward biased condition or forward bias connection. In active region, so input junction is forward biased and output junction is reverse biased. In cutoff region, so both the junction, that is input junction and output junction, both will be reverse biased. So here where we are notated the cutoff region, when IB equal to 0, below the IB equal to 0 region will be called as cutoff region. Next, so the left of the VCE saturation will be equal to the saturation region. The left of VCE saturation will be equal to saturation region. So based on the changes in IB, it will make a constant current, that is equal to IE. Where it will maintain the constant current, that region will be called as active region. These are the output characteristics of CE configuration. CC configuration. Now go for the limits of operation. That means many BJT transistor used as an amplifier, thus it is important to notice the limits of operation. Mostly, so the amplifier circuit here is equal to constructed by the transistor, so that's why we have to some limitations on the operations of transistor. So at least 3 maximum values is mentioned in data sheet. They are maximum power dissipation at collector, that is PD maximum or PC maximum or PD. Next, second point, maximum collector emitter voltage, that is VCE maximum, sometimes named as VBR, breakdown voltage, or VCEO. Next, third point, maximum collector current IC maximum. So the transistor is used as an amplifier. You have to mention some limitations on operation. So mainly we can consider 3 limitations from the data sheet. Those 3 limitations are, maximum power dissipation at collector. Next, maximum collector emitter voltage, that is VCE maximum. Next, maximum collector current, that is IC maximum. So there are few rules that need to be followed for BJT transistor used an amplifier. The rules are: transistor need to be operated in active region. Okay, if you want to make a transistor as an amplifier, it will be operated in active region. Next, IC collector current IC is less than IC maximum. Next, power dissipation is less than PC maximum. You have to follow some rules if you want to make a transistor as an amplifier. So those three rules are, okay, those three rules are: transistor need to be operated in active region. So must and should transistor is going to be operated in active region, then only it will be acts as an amplifier. Next, second rule, IC. So collector current IC is less than IC maximum, and power dissipation PC is less than the PC maximum. We have to follow these three rules. So to make an efficient work of an amplifier by using transistor. Again, there is a limitations of a transistor to going to be operated as an amplifier. So those limitations are: maximum power dissipation at collector, that is PC maximum; maximum collector emitter voltage, that is VCE maximum; so maximum collector current, IC maximum. Here look at this. So VCE is at maximum and IC at maximum. IC maximum equal to ICEO in the cutoff region. Okay, look at here. Cutoff region means when IB equal to 0. IB equal to 0, below the region is called as cutoff region. So in this cutoff region, VCE is at maximum. So VCE is at maximum and IC is at minimum. When VCE equal to maximum, then IC going to be minimum, that is ICEO in the cutoff region. Okay, so IC is at maximum and VC is at minimum. Next, VCE maximum is equal to VCE saturation is equal to VCEO in the saturation region. So look at here, in saturation region, VCE saturation is equal to VCE maximum is equal to VCEO. Okay, so this will be occur in saturation region. Then the transistor operated in the active region between saturation and cutoff. Okay, so here that means when VC is at maximum in cutoff, VC is maximum, then IC is minimum in the cutoff region. Next, that means again IC is maximum, VC is going to be minimum. Since saturation region, VCE maximum equal to VCE saturation is equal to the breakdown voltage that is in the saturation region. Okay, now go for some example. Okay, so here is the example. So refer to this figure. Okay, so here is equal to PD, that is maximum power dissipation line. Okay, so here we have to choose the IB equal to 0, IB equal to 10 microamperes, 20 microamperes, and so on. Okay, again we can denote the cutoff region, active region and saturation region. So step 1, if you want to measure the power or any other parameters from the circuit, so go to the step 1, the maximum collector power dissipation, that is PD is equal to VC maximum into VCE maximum, because power P is equal to power P is equal to current into voltage. Here you have to measure the power dissipation at collector. So then PD is equal to IC maximum into VCE maximum. Here IC maximum is equal to, IC maximum is equal to 18 milliamperes and VCE maximum equal to 20 and VCE maximum equal to 20. So in between you have to calculate power dissipation. That means just you can multiply the collector current and VCE voltage drop between VCE equal to, you can get, so the maximum power dissipation is equal to 360 milliwatts. Next, go for the step 2. At any point on the characteristics, the product of and must be equal to 360 milliwatts. For example 1, if choose IC maximum equal to the 5 milliamperes, if you choose the IC maximum equal to the 5 milliamperes, okay, IC maximum equal to the 5 milliamperes, substituted into the equation 1, we can get VCE maximum into IC maximum is equal to 360 milliwatts, then VCE maximum is equal to, okay, then VCE maximum equal to the 360 by 5, that is equal to 7.2 volts, okay. So in this example, so they given the collector current is equal to 5 milliamperes, then we will have to find the VCE maximum from this power dissipation, then VCE maximum is equal to, so the power dissipation by the collector current, then the power dissipation here is equal to the 360 milliwatts, so that's why 360 by, so here the IC maximum equal to the 5 milliamperes, then we can get 7.2 volts. At the same time, if we are choose the VCE maximum equal to the 18 volts, now you can consider the value of VCE maximum equal to the 18 volts. So substituted into this first equation, that means they are giving the voltage value and power. Now we have to find the maximum collector current. Then maximum collector current IC maximum equal to 360 milliwatts by 18. We can get 20 milliamperes. That means when the VCE maximum equal to the 18 volts, then IC maximum equal to the 20 milliamperes at power dissipation is 360 milliwatts. So in this way we have to find the, so power dissipation and collector maximum collector current and maximum voltage drop or maximum output voltage, that is VCE maximum, okay. So derating the PD maximum. So this PD maximum is usually specified at 25 degrees centigrade. So the higher temperature goes, the less in PD maximum. When the temperature is goes on increases, so the PD maximum is going to be decreases. For example, a derating factor of 2 milliwatts per degree centigrade indicates the power dissipation is reduced 2 milliwatts each degree centigrade increasing of temperature. That means when we are increasing the temperature with degree centigrade, then the power rating or the PD maximum is going to be decreases 2 milliwatts, okay. The power is going to be reduced for each centigrade with 2 milliwatts, okay, when it will be occur, so when the temperature is going to be increases, okay. So when the temperature is increases, for every degree centigrade increasing in temperature, so the power dissipation is going to be reduced by 2 milliwatts, decreased by 2 milliwatts. So up to this we have to learn three configurations. Those three configurations are common base configuration, common emitter configuration and common collector configuration. So now look at the comparison of performance characteristics of CB, CE and CC. So one thing we have to observe here is equal to, in any three configurations, okay, any three configurations, the output characteristics having the three regions, those three regions are active region, cutoff region and saturation region. So when they are in cutoff region, when they are in active region, when they are in saturation region. So in any three configurations, active region means, so both, sorry, input region or input junction is forward biased, input junction is forward biased and output junction is reverse biased, then it's said to be in active region, that is mode of operation is active region. In the same way, so cutoff region, so cutoff region means both the input junction and output junction, so both the junctions is in reverse bias, then the mode of operation of the transistor is in cutoff region. Next, third region, that is saturation region. So when it is in saturation region means, so both the input junction and output junction both are in forward biased region, both are in forward biased, then the transistor will be operated in saturation region, okay. So that means in three configurations, so the transistor is operated in active region as an amplifier. Okay, in three region the transistor is going to be operated as amplifier in active region. In case of cutoff region, the transistor acts as an open switch. Okay, because here there is no input, so that's why there is no output. In this case, the transistor will be acts as an open switch. Next, go for the third region, that is equal to the saturation region. In this saturation region, both will be going to be forward biased. So that's why in this region the transistor will be working as a closed switch. Okay, that means the transistor will be working in acts as three ways, that is either open switch, closed switch, or amplifier. So in these three regions, so mostly we are using the CE amplifier, because so why we are using CE amplifier mostly means, so in CE configuration we have the high voltage gain and high current gain. Due to high voltage and high current gain, we are getting the high power gain. At the same time, the input resistance and output resistance are moderate. So that's why, so in CE configuration mostly used as an amplifier. So now we are comparing the performance characteristics of CB, that is common base, CE common emitter, and common collector. So these are the sum of the performance characters here. So now go for the first parameter, that is input resistance. Okay, the first parameter is input resistance. So the input resistance in common base is very low. Okay, so the input resistance for common base configuration is very low. It is up to some 100 ohms only. In case of common emitter, so the input resistance is low, that is 750 ohms, that is better than the common base. Next, in common collector configuration, the input resistance is very high, that is about 750 kilo ohms. Okay, so that means in these three configurations, the input resistance is very low in common base configuration, very high in common collector configuration. So next, output resistance. So the output resistance in common base configuration. So output resistance means it is reverse biased connection. So that's why the output resistance is very high, that is about 750 kilo ohms. Next, in case of common emitter configuration, that is 45 kilo ohms, but in common collector configuration, the output resistance is very low, that is 50 ohms. So next, go for the third comparison, a third parameter. Third comparison, a third parameter, that is current gain. So in case of common base configuration, okay, the current gain is nearly unity. In case of common base configuration, the current gain is nearly unity. Common emitter configuration is current gain is high. In case of common collector, it is also high. Again, look at next comparison, that is voltage gain. So voltage gain is high in common base configuration. In common emitter configuration, it is going to be very high. But in case of common collector, the voltage gain is nearly unity. Okay, so based on these comparisons of current gain and voltage gain among the three configurations, you have to observe one thing, that is in case of common base configuration, current gain is unity. So in case of common collector configuration, voltage gain is unity. But so the common emitter configuration, both current gain and voltage gain both are high. So that's why it is more suitable for an amplifier. So that's why it is. So in every electronic circuits we are using common emitter amplifier. Next, go for the input current. So the input current in case of common base is IA. Okay, because emitter current is the input current. So in case of common emitter configuration, that is equal to IB. In case of common collector, same thing, that is equal to IB. Next go for the output current. So this output current is IC. Next common collect emitter, the output current is denoted with IC, and common collector that will be equal to IE. Okay, so here we can consider mainly the input resistance, output resistance, current gain and voltage gain. So from this current gain and voltage gain we have to note the another parameter, that is power gain. So the power gain is, in case of common base configuration, the power gain is high. In case of common emitter configuration, it will be going to be very high, but in case of common collector configuration, it will be going to be low. Okay, so based on the current gain and voltage gain, we have to specify the power gain in these three configurations, that is common base, common emitter and common collector. Okay, next go for the specifications of a transistor. Okay, so what is the need to specify the some specifications of a transistor? That means here, so in order to choose the correct BJT for any applications, so these semiconductor devices are used in many applications or many electronic systems. Okay, if we want to choose the correct BJT for any applications, it is necessary to understand its specifications. It is necessary to understand its specifications. Okay, so now go for the some of the specifications in case of transistor. The first one is DC current gain. Okay, this one is the one of the specifications of a transistor, that is DC current gain. It is denoted with beta. DC current gain, it is denoted with beta DC. Okay, so what is DC current gain? Why we are go for the current gain? So it is the ratio of the collector current to the base current of the transistor in common emitter configuration. Okay, in case of common emitter configuration, the ratio of the collector current is equal to IC to the base current, that is IB, of the transistor in common emitter configuration. That means beta is equal to IC by IB. Okay, this is called as DC current gain. So it specifies the base current required to keep the transistor conducting for a given collector current. Okay, so why we are specifying this current gain means, so it specifies the base current required, how much of base current required to keep the transistor conducting. Okay, to keep the transistor conducting for a given collector current. So that's why we are using DC current gain. That means, so how much of base current is required to keep the transistor conducting for a given collector current. Okay, so in which configuration we have to follow the DC current gain means in common emitter configuration. Okay, in common emitter configuration, so when you are find the beta, that is current gain beta, then it specifies the how much of base current is required for conducting the transistor. Okay, that is DC current gain. Next specification, that is gain bandwidth product. Okay, gain bandwidth product. Here gain means we have to specify that, so the gain is equal to, okay, output by input. Okay, so it may be in output voltage by input current, sorry, output voltage by input voltage, or output current by input current, or any other parameters. Okay, the gain will be called it as output by input. Here bandwidth, so the bandwidth means here higher cutoff frequency minus lower cutoff frequency. That means it will be working some specified range of frequencies. Then that will be called as bandwidth. Here the gain bandwidth product. The name itself, we can multiply the gain and bandwidth of a transistor. So the gain bandwidth product for an amplifier is the product of the amplifier's bandwidth and the gain. Okay, so that is the product of the amplifier's bandwidth and the gain at which the bandwidth is measured. So where we are measuring the bandwidth, at that point we have to multiply the gain and bandwidth of the amplifier, then it is called as gain bandwidth product. Okay, the gain bandwidth product means, so the gain bandwidth product for an amplifier is the product of the amplifier's bandwidth and the gain at which the bandwidth is measured. Okay, now go for the next specification of a transistor, that is power dissipation. Okay, next specification is power dissipation, that is PD maximum. So why we are go for the power dissipation? So it is defined as the maximum power that a given transistor can dissipate without being damaged. That means, so when we are applying the power to the transistor, okay, it has the maximum capability to dissipate the power without being damaged. Okay, so it is defined as the maximum power that a given transistor can dissipate without being damaged. Okay, so that is maximum capacity of a transistor to withstand the power. Okay, that is based on the input power is given to the transistor, it has the capacity to dissipate the power without damaging the transistor, is known as power dissipation. Okay, so if you want to select BJT in any applications, it is a need to it is need or it is compulsory to specify the power dissipation. Okay, if you are suppose, so if you are giving more than the maximum power, okay, then so it going to be damage the transistor, because beyond the value of power it damages the transistor. That means it going to be short the terminals, then the transistor is being damaged. So that's why, so when we are specify the transistor, the other need of the transistor specification is power dissipation. So based on power dissipation, you have to given that much of input to the transistor. Next one, that is maximum collector current, that is IC maximum. So it is defined as the maximum collector current that a transistor can carry without getting damaged. This one is also same, just like a power dissipation. Here instead of power we have to use collector current. So it is the maximum collector current that can be applied to a transistor. Okay, then the transistor can carry without getting damaged. That much of collector current can be carried by the transistor without getting damaged. That is equal to IC maximum collector current. It is defined as the maximum collector current that a transistor can carry without getting damaged. Next specification of a transistor, that is AC current gain. So in this AC current gain is as the ratio of the change in collector current to a small change in base current for a constant collector emitter voltage. Same thing, just like a DC current gain. Okay, in DC current gain, that is simply the ratio of collector current to the base current. But in case of AC current gain, we have to apply AC signal as the input to the transistor. So that's why there is a changes will be occur due to the positive half cycle and negative half cycle as the input to the transistor or any circuit. So that's why AC current gain is to be divided as the ratio of the change in collector current to a small change in base current for a constant collector emitter voltage, for a constant collector emitter voltage, that is equal to the AC current gain. Okay, so so these are the totally about the transistor. Okay, so in last sessions, so that means we have to learn completely about the transistor. That means, so how the, so what is transistor? Okay, so what is transistor means, so which it transfers. Okay, so transistor means which it transfers AC signal from the one terminal to the another terminal. Okay, so that means a transistor is a three layer. A transistor is a three layer, two junction and three terminal semiconductor device. That means the transistor means, how to form the transistor means, so the back to back connection of the PN junction diode which forms the transistor. This transistor having the, this transistor is a three layers, two junction and three terminal semiconductor device. So here, so the in BJT means bipolar junction transistor, the conduction takes place. The conduction takes place due to both majority and minority charge carriers. Okay, so BJT means bipolar junction transistor. In this bipolar junction transistor, the conduction takes place due to both majority and minority charge carriers. Hence, a transistor is also known as bipolar junction transistor because the conduction is due to both majority and minority charge carriers. That's why the transistor is also known as bipolar junction transistor. That means the transistor means, what is the meaning of transistor is, the transistor means transfer resistance, which transfer resistance, that is it transfer the signal from low resistance into the high resistance. Transfer, the name itself, transistor means which transfer resistance, that is it transfers the signal from low resistance into the high resistance. Okay, so the main advantages of these transistors, are, so here there is no heater is required in case of transistor, hence no warming time and no heating power. Next, it will be operated at low voltages. So the size of this transistor is very small and weight is very lighter. Okay, the transistor is physically smaller in size and lighter in weight. So it having the longer life. The transistor having longer life, so which having the high efficiency due to the low power consumption. Okay, so the transistor having the high efficiency. These are the some advantages in transistor, that is no heater is required, operating at low voltages, so physically smaller in size and lighter in weight, have longer life and high efficiency due to the low power consumption. Okay, so these are the advantages of a transistor. Okay, so next, so we are using the transistor in different applications. So what are those applications? Okay, so these transistors are used in many applications. So those applications is, it is used as an amplifier. Okay, it is used as an amplifier. Used as an amplifier. It is also used in oscillator circuits. It is also used in oscillator circuits. So it is also used in sweep circuits. It is also used in sweep circuits. It is also used in sweep circuits. So it is also used as a switch. It is also used as a switch. So where we are using this switch? So used as a switch in digital circuits. It is also used in digital circuits. So another applications is, it is also used in regulator circuits. It is also used in regulator circuits. Okay, regulator circuits. So these are the applications. These are the some of the applications of a transistor. So these are the applications of a transistor. Okay. So some of the advantages. So the advantages of a transistor is, advantages of a transistor. So what are the advantages of a transistor means? So no heater is required. The first point is no heater is required. No heater is required. No heater is required. Next, second advantage, operates at low voltages. Operates at low voltages. operates at low voltages. Next, third point, so the size will be smaller in size. The size of the transistor is smaller in size, and the weight of the transistor is n weight. The weight of the transistor is lighter. Weight of the transistor is lighter. Next, it's having longer life. So the transistor having longer life. So another advantage is longer life. So we are getting longer life. So because the power dissipation is low and high efficiency. Another advantage of this transistor is high efficiency. High efficiency. So why we are getting high efficiency? It is due to the low power consumption. Due to the low power consumption, so the transistor having higher efficiency. These are the advantages of a transistor. Okay, again some of the applications. So what is a transistor? In total conclusion of this is, so what is a transistor? Where we are using these transistors? So what are the types of transistor? And so the working stages of a transistor, the modes of operations. So the different types of transistor configurations. In each configurations we have to learn about their input and output characteristics for each configuration, that is CB, CC and CE. Based on their configuration, where they are using the different configurations. Next, the transistor comparisons. So finally, what are the advantages of a transistor and their applications? Okay, so the transistor advantages means when we are comparing to the vacuum tubes, the advantages of a transistor is no heater is required to warm up the warming time. Okay, so operates at low voltages, which is having small in size and weight is lighter. Uh, the lifetime of the transistor is high, so which is having the high efficiency due to low power consumption. Okay, so these are the completely about the transistor. In our next session we are going to discuss about the biasing. Okay, if you know completely about the transistor, then only we are go for the next topic or next session, that is biasing. So what is biasing? Okay, where we are using, why we are applying the biasing, what is the need, so that are going to be discussed on next session. Okay, thank you.